guys, and welcome to another Urban Viking Ale review. Today's beer is going to be a bit of a reminisce, because I reviewed this about 12 years ago, and it was like one of my favourite easy to get pale ale stroke IPAs at the time. I mean, at the time I just assumed this was an IPA, but it isn't. And it's the Bitter and Twisted from Harviestoun, and they called it a golden ale now, but I remember, I'm sure this said it was a pale ale or an IPA. But anyway, Bitter and Twisted, and it comes in at 4.2%. So yeah, and it was so good. I mean, it was bought up for Sainsbury's again. They used it in their Great British Beer Hunt, and I'm sure I don't know if it won, but it got really high. And I was just raving about it. I just loved it. Because at the time I was sort of used to just like sort of average supermarket pale ales, and when they put Bitter and Twisted in there, it was almost like a bit of a revelation, because I wasn't used to finding hoppy beers in supermarkets. Because at the time you sort of settled with what you got, which was the Badger beers or the Fullers, stuff like that. So it was really interesting to find a brewery like this, and that's what got me onto Harviestoun. So, and Scottish ale in general, because I'm just a massive fan of Scottish beer in general. I don't know if it's just the water they use, like a really clear crystal water, but all the beers just taste so refreshing. So beer in a glass, nice and clear. I've got to get a decent camera soon. This looks terrible. Let's give it a nose. Doesn't do any justice to the beer. It's not as I mean, it was 12 years ago, so it'd be a bit of a struggle to try and remember. But I'm not really getting much of a hoppy sort of nose on this one. Some light sort of citrus notes. I know it's a boring terminology, but it's basically what you're getting. The like light citrus, like lemon, a touch of grapefruit, a little bit of breadiness, but yeah, there's nothing sort of screaming out at me at the moment. So, but I always remember it being like a very nice chilled beer as well. It wasn't like overly over the top, because I mean, I'm not. I mean, it's not like I've never tried hoppy beers before. I tried stuff like Colonel and Odell, and they had like really sort of hoppy beers at that time. So anyway, let's give this a go. Stop waffling. Cheers. Mm. I'll tell you what though, because I had a bottle of Schahalian before this. I didn't review it. I should have done, because it's still as good. This is a lot tamer than what I remember it tasting. It tastes like a golden ale. There's nothing wrong with it. If you're looking for a golden ale, this is perfect. But it's not as bitter and twisted as the name used to portray. Nice and clean and crisp. You are still getting those bready sort of fruity combination sort of hops, which you get with a nice pale or golden. There is that sort of trademark Harviestoun bitterness, which is really nice. It's sort of bubbling along in the background, but it's not as punchy as like the Ridge or the Schahalian, which is strange, because I remember this beer being quite hoppy and back in the day, and it was like, it sort of like made me sort of sit back a bit and think, wow, this is in the supermarket. You know what I mean? But as it is, it's just a really nice golden ale. Maybe they've toned it down a bit. I don't know. Maybe they have for the supermarkets, but as it stands, it's going to get a 7 out of 10. It's nice, bitter and twisted, but I think they should change the name. Maybe mellow and munted. I don't know. But it's nice. It's still a nice beer. I'm not going to knock it. 7.5 out of 10 actually, not 7, because it's lovely and crisp. Um, but yeah, if you see it in the supermarket, grab it. Tell you what, there's a lot worse beers out there than this. Trust me. Thank you very much. Cheers.